Hello! I just finished editing this video and I needed to create a preface and intro for what you're about to see if you're gonna sit through it. As many of you know, I quit Worlds of Fun after 10 years of being there since I was 14. 10 out of my 24 years I was there, even through high school and college, and I came back to Kansas City. It's all so crazy. Well, anyways, this is the footage from my last day when I was there, when I sat down and reflected upon it. I won't lie, this is not gonna be, your typical vlog style video. This is not me intermixing the footage roll and going throughout the day, etc., etc. No, this is me sitting down and just talking about it, getting it all out. When I recorded it, I wasn't certain if I was gonna upload this or not, or just keep it to myself. But I wanted to upload it, so if you were curious about the final moments of me being at Worlds of Fun after 10 years, here's my entire thoughts on the process and what the past year has been, why I led up to this decision. Enough of me talking. Let's get into it. Do we like this angle? No, not really. Okay. Well, it's my official last day here at Worlds of Fun. It doesn't feel weird. I don't feel like a weird, I'm currently up in our amphitheater tech booth, which has a fantastic look down upon the park, and it's been kind of my quiet place for the last few weeks. But today's my last day. I started working here at Worlds of Fun in February of 2014. Currently it's September 1st of 2023, so technically while it's been like 9.5 years, this is technically my 10th season. So I've spent 10 seasons at Worlds of Fun. So there's not many 24-year-olds who can say that they have 10 years with the company. So this is the first 9 years here at Worlds of Fun I spent in admissions and guest services. And then last year I was offered to transfer over to live entertainment as an area supervisor of show operations. Also, last off season, I also came to the conclusion I really want to design theme parks. It's what I want to do. And I remember making a video on it, and I was like, at the end of it, I was like, let's do this shit. And this past year working here in this department has very much put me into a much closer position than where I was last year. I have a lot more experience now in actual show design, show productions, live show productions, which is inherently very close to theme park design. Over this past year, I've also been able to learn a lot more about how theme park design actually works, how the construction process works, how it actually all happens, and what that industry actually looks like. I would say a year ago, I had a pretty small idea about what the industry actually looked like job field wise, but now I have been exposed to a lot of assets to it and done a lot of research on my own time, and I understand it's actually a lot more feasible of a career now. Because I used to think it was like this really exclusive, most people have only ever heard of Imagineers, but there's thousands of jobs in this field that all pertain to theme park design. So I feel good leaving now with the experience that I was able to get in this department. This entire season there was turmoil. There was internal turmoil as new leadership took over live entertainment. New figures came into it, old figures remained. There was just a lot of turmoil. It was also the biggest season that we've ever had production-wise. And for the first while, I came into this season completely, I told my manager, I'm here for the long haul. I'm here to become Worlds of Fun's creative director. Here we are, about 8 months later, quitting after spending 10 years with this park. Okay, my name Tyson. Okay, that's correct. Let's make that better. It really boiled down to the last couple months The last couple of months I have not been engaged career-wise at this park. I was really engaged for the first while there, but I'm not going to go into details, but pretty much after June I became very disengaged. I was not on my end, on external end, like management-wise, I was not engaged. So I've sat very dormant, doing tasks that I don't believe that a task is ever below me, but at this point in my career, I also want to be doing what I want to be doing. Especially in the theme park design, I need to get experience really quick. And a lot of the stuff I've done this past season has been not necessarily pertaining to the career that I want. There was a lot at the beginning, there's a lot throughout the entirety of it that is, yes, pertaining to it, but there's also a lot that was just not pertaining to it. That was just very simple, mundane tasks. And especially come July, I really started to realize that, man, like, I do not resonate with the culture here, and things became more toxic, and people's intentions became a lot more clear, and what people thought of me became a lot more clear, and overall I just didn't feel respected. So during this period of pretty much like June to July, July through August, I was journaling every single day in a really upset state. And I had been vocal about my upsetness. So it wasn't just like I was internally holding this in. I became very upset with the state I was in, and I was journaling a lot about it. And I came to a realization in July, beginning of it, where I was like, this isn't for me. That for the first time ever, I thought, I want to quit. I was thinking, okay, I could stick it out until the end of my lease in May of next year, 2024. I could probably stick it out until then. And then over the entirety of July, a window rapidly declined because my brain made the decision. It was like, I want to leave here. And when my brain makes a decision like that, when my gut makes a decision like that, it will expedite things to make that happen. Additionally, during July, I started to apply to jobs elsewhere, like at Universal, which is kind of my dream career, I think, at the time being. I just want to work somewhere that has much higher standards. I have a big issue with Worlds of Fun and Cedar Fair in general, where I'm not inspired by the creativity, and I'm also very uninspired by the inability to actually create and produce projects. There are so many projects here at the park that get started, and then that's it. It never leaves blue sky. And I understand that that's common in the industry for projects to stay in blue sky but then never turn into actually anything. But this is for a different reason. These are all practical ideas that either get budget cuts or lack of resources, human-wise, to actually make it happen. Like, there's so many simple projects that if they were just to have somebody dedicated to project fulfillment, project management, this park could do so much more. But it doesn't. And it's also there's also such a big issue with egos and people putting their personality, putting so much personal effort into projects that is unhealthy in a work environment like this. And that's only because of the fact that Cedar Fair and Worlds of Fun does not put enough people in management positions, in creative development positions, to where everyone feels so personal about what they do. When you have a democratic process of creation, there's a lot less personal, emotional weight attached to the projects. And so projects actually get completed more healthily at other places. Where I currently stand is I put my 2 weeks in. I walked into the Beast and the Edge of Hell, which is downtown, which is owned by a company called Full Moon Productions. They own the Beast and the Edge of Hell and Macabre Cinema, which are 3 haunted houses in downtown Kansas City, very famous for Kansas City. They also have like escape rooms, and they're also like just a property management company. They own a lot of the West Bottoms in Kansas City. Well, I walked in, and with my resume for a position as a set builder, which is what they posted online. Walked out with a job, paying an actual decent paying job, and I was excited. Well, over the last 2 weeks, while I've been in my 2-week window period of transitioning jobs, I've worked there 3 days, and by about an hour in my last day there, the third day there, I came to the internal decision of I had to fucking quit. Like, I'm gonna fucking quit. I'm not gonna do my 2 weeks. Like, I just gotta get out. I just gotta get out of here, because the working conditions are abysmal. There's a lot that I can already see, like major red flag after red flag after red flag after red flag, like abysmal working conditions there. That I'm simply not going to return to there, which I need to call them today, unfortunately, and say that, hey, I'm quitting without notice. How do I get my paycheck? So where I currently stand is I've had a lot of lingering thoughts over the last 2 weeks of, do I really want to quit? Like, I can come back. I can just take out my 2 weeks and keep working here. And the unfortunate thing is that leaving Worlds of Fun has been leaving a toxic relationship. Which is kind of sad to admit out loud. And I know that under no circumstances that I should not return here. It's time for me to grow. I have very large career aspirations. After I graduated from Chicago, I moved back to Kansas City because instead of wanting to pursue the film industry, I wanted to pursue the theme park industry. So, what do? I moved back to Kansas City where I already have a job at Worlds of Fun, where I can quickly find housing because I could just live in my parents' basement, which I did for a couple months before I got my own apartment. Then I've been here for about 1.5 years now. 2 years now, sorry. And I'm ready to get out of here. I don't want to be in Kansas City anymore because the main draw coming back to Kansas City was Worlds of Fun. I have never personally been a fan of Kansas City. I feel very disconnected here. I don't resonate with anything around me in Kansas City. I don't care for the city. I think it has a lot of character and a lot of charm behind it. The community is really KC driven, which is there's not many cities that can compare to the city in regards to that. But it's just not I don't want to be here. I've wanted to live in Los Angeles since I was 14. And everyone always tells me, you don't want to live in LA. And it's but I do. And if I would have been stupid, I would have moved to LA outside of college and really struggled through it. But I feel like I'm in now a place to where I can secure a job out in LA or Orlando or wherever it takes me and actually be financially sound because I'm smart enough to do that. Today is my last day. I am falling back upon my secondary skill, which is fine dining, and I'm applying to different restaurants since I can pay rent while I'm still here. And that's where I pretty much stand for the time being, while I am still applying for jobs elsewhere. I'm actively applying at Universal Hollywood, Universal Florida, Disney. There's a lot of different design firms around the United States that are sporadically posting entry-level positions, so I'm keeping an eye on job boards for all of those, and I'm just continually applying to eventually get an entry-level position in a theme park design spot. What's also interesting is ever since I have decided to leave here, I've really found a sense of self again, which is something I didn't realize was gone until I begin to find it again. My interests, my outside interests and hobbies have returned naturally. I've always struggled with pretty much my entire life, and I'm pretty vocal about this, I don't hide it. I've always struggled with eating disorders, because calorie counting early on will make that happen. It's never been anything bad, or it's never been anything to the extreme level, but more so just unhealthy relationships with food. And ever since I have put in my 2 weeks and I've started to feel a sense of myself again, I've not, my eating disorder issues have naturally stopped. And I've come to the realization that, wait, maybe my emotional eating at night is due to the fact that I don't have a sense of self. When I worked here, or when I worked at another company, that I did not have a healthy sense of balance between work and personal, maybe I turned to emotional eating because that was a coping mechanism for not having a balance. It's kind of it's a shitty day, you know. I didn't want this day to happen. I honestly feel excited to leave here. At this point, being at the park just feels like, why am I here? Because I'm so unengaged. They don't engage me. My direct supervisor doesn't engage me. Let me clarify that. Word has gotten around that I'm leaving. I would rather leave quietly, and I need to clear out my desk, which I have a lot of decorations on my desk. So I might come back later to do that, because I don't want to clean it out during a day when there's a bunch of people in the office and I had to make it awkward and emotional. I'd rather just slip out of here. But I feel good about the future. While I don't know what my future is right now, I do feel confident in it. I feel confident in the mystery of what it entails. I feel really on track to achieve my body goals. My hobbies and interests are returning to me outside of Worlds of Fun. Like the whole idea of being a DJ, of being a YouTuber. Now, YouTuber has always been a thing that I've just done for my entire life, but these hobbies are returning to me. My interests are returning to me, and I don't know, I'm excited. So I think that's everything I want to say here. This park has a lot of special people in it. There's a lot of really passionate, caring individuals here, and there's a lot of really good memories. But me personally, myself, I'm beyond ready to take it to the next level. You know, I've done the local theme park thing for a while now. It's time to put myself into a much larger fishbowl, a much larger flower pot, where I'm able to grow. There's a lot of really caring individuals here. I've had a lot of fantastic memories here. But my time here has come to an end. Yeah. Yeah.